All right, here we are again. Excuse me. The last one was kind of hectic, I felt. I'm trying to do this history thing, and I kind of got into Samoa, and then tried to kind of readjust things and explain how things went differently, how things were. I don't know. I kind of got lost there. So, trying again. Um, I think I want to just tell some stories to start with. When I got there, I was on Thunga Beach, and I believe it was Trust Family was my first family. Um, Aaron was my family leader, and I can't remember the name of the assistant family leader. He didn't last long. I remember he ended up on level 1 for something shortly after I got there. He got removed. But in the end of the last video, I kind of talked about a level system, and you had definitely had to open yourself up. And again, it was all boys. Modesty definitely went out the window. We didn't have anything. We didn't. They stripped us of everything. So shame was something you just quit holding on to. You kind of got to a point, and everybody was sort of talking about the things that happened to them as children, and abuse, sexual abuse. I mean, I heard some stuff that I saw it on the news about some man went to jail for doing horrible things to his child. But I'd never, you know, met, let alone lived with and lived with somebody who'd been through stuff like that. So you had to get into that stuff in order to kind of get yourself up in levels, because you didn't just get to you had to earn points each day, of course, in order to move up in the levels. But your family leader, and the other staff, and then of course seminars. And I guess I better explain seminars, because that has a lot to do with how the level system work. Now, seminars came through, I think, about every 45 days. And there were four. There were three. No, there were four. Discovery, focus, accountability, and keys to success. Discovery was a 3-day seminar. Focus was also a 3-day seminar. Accountability was a 2-day seminar. I don't remember thoroughly about keys to success. That was towards the end of my stay there, and I don't remember exactly how that went. The seminars changed at the end of my stay, and I don't remember exactly how that all went. Now, something I want to mention about these seminars is the families back at home, or at least the mothers and fathers of these kids, are requested to attend similar seminars. What these were they took us in a room, and there was a facilitator and several staff. Discovery, the first one. I'll try to explain kind of how it went. We went in, and there were a series of activities that we did that kind of got into questioning ourselves and looking outside of the box, and realizing that we often live our life based on rules we set for ourselves. For example, one activity we did, the group was split up into two. One group went down to the worksheet folly, which was the disciplinary folly, the disciplinary building, and all. I hope I get into that. and the other group stayed up in School Folly, which was where we slept and where school was, and seminars were. And one group had a message, and somehow we had to figure out how to get the message to the other group. Now, they never deliberately told us, walk down there and ask what their message is. They never said we couldn't do that. They didn't, but they led us in a manner to believe that that wasn't necessarily okay. They just didn't necessarily say it. And so finally, at the end of all these different ways of how we're going to try and figure out to do this, the only way to do it would be to have somebody walk down there and ask. And we all got in big trouble for that. And this was, I think, the opening activity, questioning us on why we thought I guess I'm going to lose myself here trying to interpret it and refocus the events. The purpose was to break somebody open and sort of start a flow of emotion that came out of all of us in this first day. And then there were compounding activities that by the third day there was like, for example, Enigma, Return to Innocence they played, and one of the items we had to bring to our seminar was a towel which they duct taped. And there was the popcorn part of seminars that we all heard. I actually didn't get to go to the first series of seminars that came through because they came right after I got there, and I got to hear the popcorn. And what the popcorn was the kids finally would all get to an emotional breaking point with the different staffs and groups, and it wasn't always just chairs. We eventually spread out, and each kid kind of got focused on, and they would get into us. And it wasn't just, oh, let's talk about your dad. It was, you're worthless. You did horrible things. It was bad. They got us down to just snot and tears. And then anger into our parents and how our parents did these horrible things to us. And it was crazy. It was crazy. But the towels and duct tape were for us to let out our anger. And we were smacking them on the floor, and every time these towels with duct tape would hit the floor, pop, pop, and you could choose out of these seminars. I mean, if you got defiant and angry and closed off, basically didn't start crying about something, they'd send you out, and you had to try it again the next time they came around. So, by the end of it, you got, I think we started with maybe 20 kids probably, and by the end of it we might have had 15 or 10 or 15 kids with these towels and smacking them on a cheap linoleum and concrete floor. I mean, just I mean, it sounded like popcorn. So that was the first seminar, kind of. Very, very, very brief summary of it. The second one was similar. It got into more. I'm not even going to try to explain the next one yet. I'm running out of time. But there were 4 of them, and I think I'm just going to jump straight into the next video and really get into the more extreme parts of the accountability seminar, and kind of what the whole purpose of this whole deal we were in was, from what I understand anyway. So, accountability seminar coming up. Check out the next one.